Welcome back, everybody, to the back nine of round 2 of the 2020 MVP Open at Maple Hill, presented by MVP Disc Sports. Brian Earhart back here again with Tristan Tanner, and it's been kind of a rough one to watch today.
Yeah, for most of our card, it's just been slightly off. We've seen Kev had a pretty dirty spit out and some uncharacteristic shots from him, but we see Ricky jumping into the lead, tied for the lead right now. And yeah, man, this is just going to be an exciting back nine.
Yeah, the wind has picked up ever so slightly, and like we've seen multiple times, when that wind starts seeping into the wooded holes, it just makes this course so challenging. It's hard enough to hit some of these gaps, but then to also have to read the wind halfway up the fairway and lace these gaps is not an easy task. We move into a bit more of a scoreable section of the course here, especially for these long-distance bombers that we have on this card.
You see Ricky and Paul at the top, Andrew and Josh not far behind, but hole 10 is a severely uphill par 3 that only says 380 feet, but it plays much closer to 500 feet, actually.
Absolutely. It's so far uphill that if you're not throwing 70 miles an hour or faster, you have to shape the disc on some really specific hyzer flip line. You don't have much room to throw a flex shot here. But someone who does throw 70 miles an hour or faster is Kevin Jones. And that's a pure hyzer all the way up there.
Rick as well definitely has the power. He's to miss that.
And the thing with Ricky that's interesting about this hole, Ricky's type of hyzer he likes to throw is a stall hyzer. Mm-hmm. So those types of hyzer right out of your hand shots are not something he's used to, and he threw exactly what he was used to throwing. Steve kind of filtering left a little bit. He should be able to get up and down from there.
Terry just playing it right down the center. Not trying to bite off too much, knowing that he's probably not going to get a birdie on this hole, so just give himself good position.
Terry asking nicely to sit down. That was a full committed run from Steve. That was so close.
So uphill. And Rick, after getting through a lot of the trees, converts on a birdie.
That's an awesome 45-foot uphill putt from Ricky. Stand still, straddle. Not too many people are doing that.
Good putt for par from Terry. And Kev having this close of a drive.
I think that's potentially the best shot I've seen on this hole.
Yeah, it definitely is for me.
And he's going to potentially opt for the turbo here.
Yeah, with how this wall is, it's a very interesting spot.
And with how low his normal putt is. Mm-hmm. Kevin taps in the turbo for a birdie. As you can hear, he said that turbo was a scary one. Not something you ever want to have to do when it's windy out.
I wish I was a little closer.
Hole number 11, very similar to hole number 1. You're trying to just get a big drive, but again, placement is pretty important. Notice the left side has a lot more trees. If you can land center cut or on the right side, you're going to have less trees to contend with. And then again, we have a tighter gap moving up to the green, just finishing slightly left on this kind of sloped green.
There's that D2 again. We did have a bit of a tailwind on this hole.
Which is always a big relief when you step up to this hole and you feel the tailwind, because you're like, okay, I can actually throw a shot.
And Kevin actually bombs his drive.
And Rick with the same disc he threw on hole 1.
Ooh, and that kind of dropped pretty quickly out of the sky, but still has some distance. Hopefully he got past that big tree right there.
Steve just throwing a hyzer, it looks like, just trying to play a placement shot. Not going for too much distance.
Yeah, this is one that in practice, if you just pick your spot that you know you need to land, you don't need to worry about how far everybody else is throwing.
And Terry with a nuke. Slight turn, needs to sit down. He's going to have to contend with those trees.
Wow.
That was a great shot from back there.
Yeah, see, this is what Steve was playing for. He wanted that simple spot. He'll club up to a faster disc if he needs to, and he has the circle one look at birdie.
Don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. Thank you. You're lucky.
Here, Rick talking to his disc.
Yeah, I think he was begging for it to not hit any trees, and I guess world champions get that skill developed once they win.
And with a huge drive from Kevin, just having a little turnover putter into
Wow,
the green.
such a great shot.
Oh my God, I slipped.
Nothing to be said there.
No.
Great birdie there from Rick.
Look at that, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not your screen freezing. Steve just stands very still in his pre-shot routine.
One of the most focused players I've ever played with in my life. Still takes 30 seconds, though. Hole 12, par 4, 650 feet. Righties have a little tougher time than the lefties here. Got to bomb a huge flex shot, challenging an uphill sloping fairway. Over all these trees, it's kind of a blind shot you have to really trust. Once you get to the top of the hill, you're shooting down to this very protected green. And the amount of elevation that we have to deal with on this course is so sneaky.
Yeah, and like you were saying, distance on this hole is great, but like many other holes, distance and placement is really what you need.
Yeah, you could be 20 feet left of where you want to be and have a completely different shot. This one looks pretty good out of the hand from Rick. That might come back way far down there.
And Rick's really been leaning on this disc heavy.
Wow! Getting down that
Great
hill is a
drive.
smash.
Yep.
And Steve putting a good move on it, too.
Yeah, taking a little more understable disc.
Oh, no.
You might have that little road right there.
And that's going to be good. That's, I think, one of those Page Pierce nukes that Terry just threw. And he's in a decent position.
That needs to get love.
Just a little early on the turn there from Kev, but actually gets through a decent bit. Should have a pretty easy up and down for par. This is a zone from Terry. Chopping it
Did he
over.
get enough on it?
Oh, great little kiss from the tree.
Yeah?
He's going to be 25 feet away.
And let's see if Steve did actually give himself some sort of look. Anytime he's opting for the forehand, you know he kind of doesn't have too many options.
Chops it over, center cut fairway. Possibly a long jump putt if he wants it.
And that's Ricky's drive. He's jump putting his approach.
Wow, that's...
What a luxury.
Yeah.
That was such a big flex line off the tee from Rick. Stress-free par there from Steve. And here's Terry for a birdie, I believe. That's a great birdie to get.
Great hit.
That'll bring him back to +4. He does have some fighting to do here, but he has been putting decent.
Nice hole, Rick.
Rick for 4 in a row.
Yeah, 9 through 12 is a great 4-hole stretch to get birdies on. You see a lot of players just parring these. Hole number 13, 405-foot par 3, downhill the whole way. Whatever disc you think you can get down there is what you should throw.
Yeah, I mean, players generally pick anywhere from fairway driver to putter, but the understable flight is generally what people are going to be choosing just to have that straight finish at the end.
Exactly.
And Rick actually going for the big hyzer.
I don't even think our catch cam was expecting this.
And comes in a little bit short. Looked like he sawed it off a little bit right out of his hand. Not quite the width he wanted.
Oh my god.
Terry going with his
Wow.
understable buzz.
I don't even care. That should have been.
Kev also lining up the big hyzer, it looks like. Wow.
It's a really risky play. There's a lot of thick, mature trees here, but I guess if you do get the distance on it, you can trickle down to the basket. We didn't even see where that landed.
Yeah, especially with how good of slow disc throwers both Rick and
Yeah.
Kevin are. It's pretty surprising to see them choose that.
And Steve turning his over just a bit. There's a zone from Terry, puts him about 20 from the basket. So Kev put himself in a pretty rough spot, and that's a pretty good approach from where he was at. He was almost down by the short pad on hole number 14.
Wow, and that was a very understable putter there.
And Rick should have a little 15, 20 footer for the par. Oh, just misses low.
Kevin just not quite playing like his usual self, just a little bit off in a lot of ways right now.
Ricky taps in the par. Terry from a little longer than I thought.
Yeah, a little trickle away on the approach. But great putt to convert there.
Just one of the tougher par threes. You think you have the shot dialed in, and then you hit one of the late guardian trees, and it kicks you so far. So challenging to access that one. Here we are, Tristan. The hardest lefty hole in the whole world.
Yeah, hole number 14 is kind of opposite of some holes that we played earlier. Just with water carry the whole way on the right side, you're now finishing left. And man, that left side gets away from you quick. You really have to be landing the disc soft on this green.
And it looks like he threw this softly. That was incredible.
Wow.
That was one of the best shots I've... What?
That had
I wish we had an instant replay on that. He threw that so slow.
no extra speed on it when it was landing on the ground.
Yeah, and look at how the wind is affecting Terry's disc. And he got inbounds. He's safe deep, but man.
Power player Terry going for the long side. Oh, no.
And that is the second time Steve has done this. He did this in round one as well. Not sure what it is about this shape that he's not liking, but that's 2 misfires in this hole for Steve. That is very hard to watch.
Wow, and with Kev fresh, with that fresh in his mind.
Yeah, you got to wonder if he's actually going to go for the basket or try to play a deep hyzer here. And he looks like he
going
wants
for an
it.
ace.
I think he threw fairway driver. Him and Rick both threw similar lines. That's a great shot from Kev.
Both of them, the disc coming in so slow.
And Steve was safe on this shot, and that's got to get up. And that's rolling out of bounds after what I thought was a good landing.
Very interesting. Sit down. Good sit.
And this hole averaging a 3.35, so another par 3 that averaged over par, partially because of just how unpredictable the wind was coming off this lake. We saw Terry's disc get, thrown around like a rag doll after getting pushed deep, but then somehow whatever Kevin Rick figured out. I'm going to probably take notes on that.
Yeah, they figured it out, whatever it was.
2 great birdies from our card, and Steve is unfortunately going to be tapping in a bogey.
Moving on to hole number 15. Back to the woods. We have a dead straight tunnel. You can see the basket the whole way. Mid, putter, fairway driver, anything you want that you just feel like you can go dead straight. Maybe a touch finish left.
Yeah, you can go straight. There are some players that like throwing the little anti-flex. And I'm wondering if Rick was trying to do that with how flat of a thrower he is. Just kick something on the right side. This is one of those Charlotte-style par 3s that are really fun to throw.
Kev just pulling it slightly right. It's a shot that Kevin is very good at. Terry with his straight buzz.
That's such a good line.
Beautiful from Terry.
Another pull from Steve.
Man.
And Steve is way back in the rough. And you also never know with Steve today, like, how bad his elbow injury actually is. I saw him in round 1. Oh, my gosh.
Huge putt from Rick.
That brings him to 8 under par.
Man, he's just on a scorcher right now.
Look at that trajectory. That's 35 feet, 40 feet.
Huge putt.
And here's Kev from about circle's edge. Maybe a little longer. And there's another miss. His putting stroke today has just not been clean. And he knows it. Like, you can just see in his body language, he's pretty fed up with it.
Good putt for Terry for a great birdie.
Terry's fighting back. He's chipping away at those bogey strokes that he took in the front 9.
Hey, he's starting to play pretty clean again.
Yeah. He's not giving up. The disc is coming out of his hand with full commitment. You can tell that he's really trying to stay in this. And Kevin is going to stay at 1 under par with 6 birdies. Hole number 16, par 3, 530 feet. One of the tougher birdies to get on this course. You have 2 gaps to go for. There is a safe route on the right side, or you can go straight at the basket through the gap that the drone is flying. Having to control a distance or fairway driver that straight for that long is very challenging.
Yeah, especially with the downhill, and this hole can be tricky with a little left to right wind sometimes coming off the pond over on the left side of the fairway.
Ricky was so close to getting through that and getting to the green. He's still going to be outside circle 2.
Don't. Thank you. Don't. Dang it.
Terry showing some gratitude to his frisbee.
Yep. Kev's throwing the same disc he aced with.
Oh, and that's a rough kick to the right.
Looks like the wind got it, made it turn a little bit too much. And Steve now with the early release. Getting some late flip, though.
I'm wondering if he's throwing out of pain and his body's just trying to send the disc rather than snapping it out of, out of fear. It happens with, any kind of, muscular compensation with injury when you're trying to play through it. That's a good out there from Steve.
Great out from Steve.
Get up and in.
Terry wishing for it to jump in, but unfortunately he doesn't get his wish. He's going to be 15 feet long.
Kev with a long jump putt from the right side.
Oh
Wow! And almost putting it in the basket. Rick also jumping it.
And he's going to stick there. He'll have a nice tap in 3.
Terry waving to all the fans.
All the one fans. And a pretty clean hole there for our players. And we move into number 17. One of the few true eagleable par 4s that we get to play out here.
Yeah, big Annie shot off the tee. If you can get the slight flex and if you have enough power, you can get down this tunnel that we're about to fly into and leave yourself some sort of look. Not many players quite have the power to do it, but there are some in the field who will have the opportunity.
Absolutely. And of course, we're going to elevate this pin as well to make it even tougher.
And the way Rick's been thrown today,
If that drifts a little bit more.
just didn't quite have the Anheuser out of his hand. And
It's actually not bad.
Good tree to keep him out of the woods.
Oh my God. Good.
Terry maybe going for a little too much, just a little bit low. Kev will definitely be going for this one.
Needed it to be a little bit higher. That's his flippy D2. But still, opportunity for a birdie.
And that came out really clean out of Steve's hand.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Fight out a little bit. Yeah, and he should have that little turnover putter into the green.
And it did not flip for Terry. Hoping he has a look for a par save.
Oh, and this is... Nope, that's just fine. A little bit of fade. Thought it might have been getting away from him there for a second.
Little skip shot from Ricky. That's got to sit down.
That should be fine.
25 feet.
Steve with just a jump putt.
Don't go too far. I got him doodle.
Pretty easy 3 there.
Get up.
Terry will save his par as well. And here's Kev after going a little deep on that second shot.
Sit down.
And I believe it did.
Oh, it did not.
Oh, my.
Back to edge of the circle.
No.
A little bit low. That one sat. Not what Kev was looking for on.
All round. Just hasn't been able to find a rhythm with that putting stroke.
Good bird from Rick.
Don't hurt yourself.
And there's a bogey for Kevin. That is just tough on this hole. One of the easier par 4s. That is a missed opportunity, unfortunately, especially going into this hole here.
Yeah, hole number 18, very uphill, par 4. And we have this little wall almost right off the tee pad, so you do have to get your drive in the air right away. And then after you place your drive perfectly, you now have a very tricky approach into this green. Just one of the more signature greens we play.
Yeah, you have to definitely make a committed decision to go for the birdie. As Rick...
Little kick, but that should be fine
yeah,
there.
that's a decent position. It's just such a tough angle to get into this green, and that's actually going to sit down. They have moved the OB back this year, so they've made it a lot easier to go out of bounds left, and I think he was safe.
Good speed from Terry, and he'll be on the left side of the fairway. That's a great
position for a sidearm.
And I really like this play. The forehand off the tee just feels a little bit more natural shape to the hole.
And Rick didn't think he was far enough up. He's going to lay up and potentially have a little throw-in opportunity for birdie.
Steve doing the same.
And you got to wonder if Terry is thinking about it here.
That is a force from Terry. Oh, no.
Just off the rocks. I thought he was going to hit it and stay in bounds.
Top of the wall. Big exhale from Kev. That looks a little bit early. Oh, and it gets through. Yes.
What a finish for Kev. And honestly, that's probably a huge relief for him.
Yeah, that's really what he needed with how this round. Wow. Great run.
Ricky was
from
all
Ricky.
over the basket
Holy
this round.
cow. Steve hitting chains as well. Oh my gosh, what
People
is
are good at
going
disc
on?
golf. Who knew?
Holy cow.
Who knew? And Steve's going to finish at a disappointing +1 for him after shooting a -5 the first round. He still is going to maintain a decent position on the leaderboard at -4.
Terry with the +4, not the round he was looking for. Ricky, -9, jumping into first place, taking the lead. And Kev, man, just a battle of a round.
He really hung on for that -1. And on this course, I believe a -1 is still 1026 rated.
Crazy.
Such a challenging track for any player. There you have it, folks. Maple Hill has teeth. That's all we have to say.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to Gatekeeper Media. Check out the Patreon page as well. And we'll see you guys in round 3.
Yeah. See you later.
We are here with tournament leader after round 2, Ricky Wysocki. Ricky, you tied the hot score at the event with 9 down today. Tell us how you did it.
I just played smooth. I think I had 2 bogeys, a lot of birdies out there. I cleaned up hole 8 was the #1 hole that I wanted to clean up. Saved 3 strokes on that hole, and that's when I shot 6 down yesterday and turned it to 9 down today after having a par on that hole. So I was happy with how I improved.
Yeah, the one thing that was the same was that you got massively hot after hole 8. You went, let's see, 7, 8 out of the next 10 holes. What is it about the back 9 that is just letting you catch fire?
I think it's just me knowing that I have to, that's where a lot of the scoring can happen. And I feel like I've got those holes dialed in. The front 9, it's more of just kind of keep pace. Don't really take too many big numbers. And I got 2 bogeys in the front, and that's going to happen out here. So I think I have confidence in those holes, and I think that's going to carry over into tomorrow.
Yeah, and speaking of tomorrow, you're going to enter tomorrow with, it looks like, potentially a 4-stroke lead, at least 3 strokes. Were you aware that you were so far ahead? And what do you think about that lead on Sunday?
Yeah, I actually had no idea. I was just, I was just playing my game plan. I feel like I can be pretty consistent out here. and shoot 9 under is a score that I can repeat. And I think if I do, obviously I can win the tournament. But I didn't know actually that I was in the lead by that many. But I think it wouldn't have changed my play on 18. I still would have laid up. But yeah, I'm happy overall.
So you're looking for the same type of round tomorrow. What's your confidence level that you're going to be able to get that done?
I'm really high. I'm playing with a high level of confidence right now. That's when I play my best, and I think there's even room for me to prove. Like you said, on the front 9, I think I've only been 1 or 2 under, and I think I can prove there. And I think the back 9 is where I really do my damage.
Awesome. Ricky Wysocki, 9 down. Thanks for your time, Rick, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.